Hey, what's happening? What is dynamic tension? Dynamic tension is just enough tension to accomplish what we need to without any more or less tension than we need to. A good example is the difference between standing at attention, which is tension, right? And standing at ease, relaxed. I tell vocal students all the time, don't lock your knees, don't clench your butt. Don't tense up in here. Don't tense up in the throat, especially. It all needs to be very relaxed in here, in fact. And thereby developing a sense of dynamic tension. Inevitably, what you can look at as a vocalist or as an instrumentalist, if something is not going right, if you're feeling too much tension, it is inevitably a result of a lack of dynamic tension. So, and that can include breathing. If you're holding your breath when you concentrate, which most of us do, you check your breathing. If anything, there's two things I watch for or listen for or feel for, whatever, however you want to put it. When I'm playing a show and something doesn't feel right, I'm either not listening to my band or I'm not breathing or I'm not creating dynamic tension. I'm not letting things flow and just putting tension where it needs to be in that moment, which is very reflex driven. So therefore it's kind of tricky to accomplish dynamic tension when we're busy trying to just hold the chord, If I could just get this chord to go to that chord, there's a lot of tension involved in this process, especially when you're a new guitarist, for instance. All the work required technically just to hold down a chord, there's inevitably a lot more tension than you need. So what we want to do is go back and check in with yourself. Go back and check in with yourself on a regular basis, in fact. Whatever your instrument, go back and check in with yourself on a regular basis. Have I overcome this particular hurdle? Remember, whatever's difficult is your key to improvement, all right? But that also means there are going to be times where you're not able to accomplish something quite yet. So that's another reason to go back and check in with yourself. Well, 6 months ago, I couldn't play this one tune because it was not technically within my ability. Maybe I'm there now. Probably will be if you've been working at it. If you've been working at your technique and such. And then you can go back and check in and go, hey, I can play that song now. How cool. That'll build your confidence, of course. But also checking in with things that we don't think of. So I've been playing, say, for a few months, and I can move the chords back and forth. But my hand hurts. What's going on? Why does my hand still hurt? Probably because you're putting too much tension in it. So one thing you can do is take a chord, all right, hold it with all your might. So too much tension, all right, and then sit here and strum and gradually loosen it until you get pick flack. That's pick flack, okay? And then tighten it back up again. You do this for a while. What's going on now is your brain is going to start to lock in on where the dynamic tension is. And then as it becomes a reflex, which isn't going to happen in one practice session, okay? You got to work at this stuff. When it becomes a reflex, then you're going to be more fluid in your playing, all right? Same again is true with the voice. When you go back and check in, if something doesn't feel right, or you're feeling tension in here, man, no tension in the neck, please let this be relaxed. When you see veins sticking out, and this is somebody who didn't get proper vocal coaching, all right? Or they're not breathing enough. Maybe they did get proper vocal coaching, but they didn't run their checklist. You should have a checklist. Hey, am I breathing when I play? Am I using dynamic tension when I play? Am I listening to the band if I have a band? All these sorts of things. We just kind of run an ongoing little loose checklist to make sure that we're keeping in the music and moving things forward. A loose checklist because our conscious mind stops doing most of the work. We make conscious decisions. I'm going to this chord change now, all right? But otherwise, it's reflex driven. So the more that we go back and refine the reflexes, and especially these very subtle reflexes like dealing with dynamic tension, the faster we are going to move forward, the sooner we are going to be independent of the need of a coach, of a teacher. You want to be thinking like a professional from the get-go so that you have all these things you are trying to achieve. So then one day you're sitting there playing, you don't have to wait, and you make some kind of breakthrough, you think, but you're not sure, maybe I'm crazy, it couldn't be that easy all of a sudden. You don't have to call your teacher. You already know, oh, I made a breakthrough. The reflexes kicked in. All the connections happen in the brain. All right? So working with dynamic tension. That's a big thing right there. Dynamic tension also can lead to dynamics. Dynamics create emotion in music. It's one of the things. We have rhythmic dynamics, that is how we play the rhythm, and then we have volume dynamics, how loud and soft we're playing. Okay? So how we use dynamics can really affect the way music comes across. If everything's, one volume, it gets old real quick. Now it has more emotion. Very basic thing. Hard to do. You got to practice it. Play as loud and as soft as you can, as quick as you can. It's going to sound and feel ridiculous. You're going to stumble like crazy, but it's going to help a lot. And then having developed dynamic tension, okay, then you can do stuff like this. You get to where you're accustomed to loosening and clenching with the bar chord, for instance. Instead of this, all one volume. And I'm not doing any palm mute here. This is all in that left hand. Okay, if I add palm mute, and you can do some fun stuff to keep time there. All right. It's just a funny little note too. If you make a mistake and it's not on the page, stop staring at the page. I see students do that all the time. Something's wrong. I'm going to look at the page more. The page was right in the first place. Okay. So get off the page and then get out of your head. That is your fear of being wrong again. That is making a mistake twice or stumbling over it repeatedly, and let yourself work through it. All right. Nothing blows up in this laboratory. I say that all the time. It's true, I tell you. All right. So, anyway, if something's wrong, it's one of two things. It's your right or your left hand. So that's everything. I'll see people, I was looking over here, what's going on? So that's why I wanted to differentiate between the right and left hand when I was showing the rhythm there. The left hand can do a lot without the right hand. Let me do it. All right. And then, yes, we can add the right hand. So we want to treat them both, to equal time. Right hand keeps time. Well, this is assuming you're right-handed. I should clarify that. I've had plenty of left-handed students, so sorry about that, guys, folks. But the dominant hand keeps time. So always keep in time with the dominant hand, no matter what the fretting hand is doing, is very worthwhile. Tapping of the foot, don't do it unless it comes naturally, because then you're creating a whole new instrument. So there's some like little rhythm tips there for you. So anyway, that should about do it for now. If you have any questions, comments, thoughts, things you would like to know more about, etc., contact me through any of the platforms in which you find me. I do respond to every message, every email. Thanks. Peace.